Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you had to push, control, or force things to happen? Maybe at work, you've tried to manage your team by implementing strict rules, or in your personal relationships, you've attempted to guide others' decisions through persuasion or even subtle manipulation. And yet, despite all this effort, it feels like things are slipping through your fingers. Why is it that the harder we try to control, the less effective we seem to become? There's a common belief that leadership and influence come from having control over people, control over outcomes, control over the environment. Society often rewards and celebrates those who appear to have everything in their grasp. We see leaders who seem to command over their teams, families, or situations, and assume that this is the model for how influence works. But what if control, in the way we often think about it, is more of an illusion? True leadership doesn't emerge from dominating external circumstances, but from cultivating a deep alignment within ourselves. When we focus solely on control, we're reacting to what's happening outside of us, constantly trying to bend and mold the world to fit our vision. And in doing so, we disconnect from the most powerful tool of influence we have, our inner state. Inner alignment is the process of harmonizing our thoughts, emotions, and energy with who we truly are at our core. It's about becoming internally centered and grounded, allowing your inner beliefs and emotional states to guide how we interact with the world. When we are in alignment, we don't need to control everything around us. Our very presence becomes magnetic. Think about those individuals who seem to naturally inspire others. They don't have to shout or impose their will. There's something about them that draws people in, something that makes others want to listen, follow, and trust. These people aren't necessarily the loudest in the room, nor do they hold positions of obvious power. Their influence comes from within. They lead from a place of inner clarity, which creates a ripple effect outward, shaping their external reality without force. When we try to control situations through force, whether by micromanaging at work, insisting that things go our way in relationships, or even trying to control our own emotions, we create resistance. People push back. Circumstances seem to get more difficult, and often this approach leaves us feeling more disconnected and frustrated. Why does this happen? Because force stems from fear. When we operate from a place of trying to control, it's usually because we're afraid of losing, afraid of failure, afraid of not being enough. This fear creates a tension that others can feel, whether they realize it consciously or not. And in return, they mirror back that tension, creating a cycle of resistance that prevents the very outcomes we're trying to achieve. In contrast, when we are in alignment, we're no longer acting from fear. We're not trying to control others or outcomes to feel safe. Instead, we trust in the power of our inner state to create the right conditions for success and influence. What we often don't realize is that leadership is not something we do to others. It's something that naturally radiates from within us. The energy we carry, the beliefs we hold, and the emotions we feel all impact the people around us. If we are filled with anxiety, self-doubt, or fear, this is what we project, even if we try to hide it. On the other hand, when we cultivate inner peace, clarity, and a sense of purpose, people are drawn to that energy. This is why leadership based on alignment is so much more powerful than leadership based on control. When we are aligned with our inner selves, our values, our vision, our true desires, we inspire others without even trying. People are attracted to authenticity and clarity. They want to follow leaders who are not just saying the right things, but are living in harmony with their own truth. One of the most profound impacts of inner alignment is the ripple effect it creates. When we shift our internal state, the external world begins to shift in response. People start to trust us more, not because we demand it, but because they can sense the authenticity in how we show up. Projects, relationships, and opportunities seem to flow more easily because we're not pushing against the current of life. We're aligned with it. This kind of leadership creates lasting change, not because we've manipulated the circumstances, but because we've transformed ourselves. When our internal world is in order, the external world reflects that order. And the best part, this kind of influence doesn't burn out. When leadership emerges through alignment, it's sustainable because it's not based on external pressure, but on an internal foundation of clarity and strength. Many people believe that to be influential, you must convince, persuade, or even manipulate others. But true leadership requires none of this. In fact, manipulation can only take you so far before it crumbles. People sense when they're being coerced or pushed. They may comply for a time, but ultimately they'll resist. True influence comes when we allow ourselves to see and feel our authenticity. When we are aligned within ourselves, we give others permission to align with themselves as well. We inspire not through words or actions alone, but through the energy we embody. This kind of leadership creates deep trust and respect, allowing for genuine collaboration and connection. The world teaches us to focus on external control, on managing the people, circumstances, and things around us. But the more we try to control, the more out of control we feel. Real influence, real leadership begins when we turn our attention inward. By shaping our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions to align with our true self, we can create the external outcomes we desire without force or struggle. When we shift our focus from control to alignment, we step into a more powerful form of leadership. We begin to understand that influence isn't about doing more, commanding more, or enforcing more rules. It's about being more aligned with who we are. And when we do this, we naturally inspire others, create change, and lead with ease. True leadership is not about how much control we can exert over others or our circumstances. It's about how aligned we are within ourselves. When we focus on shaping our inner energy, emotions, and beliefs, we naturally create influence in the world. People are drawn to authenticity, and when we lead from a place of inner alignment, we inspire others effortlessly. If you're interested in exploring how to align your inner world and step into authentic leadership, the Inner Foundation series offers tools and practices designed to help you cultivate that alignment, particularly in areas of conscious action and energetic leadership.